Okay, this week we're going to do something I call picture poetry. I've done this with fourth graders, fifth graders, and I've also done it with the in-service teachers that wanted some help on how to inspire creative writing in their classroom. So what you do is, what I did was I just got a big stack of magazines that my mother was going to throw away, and I started clipping out all the pictures, stuck the pictures in a yellow envelope, passed it around the room. Everybody picked out a picture, um, and then they used the picture to inspire them to write a poem. Now, at this point, you have already learned about alliteration, metaphors, similes, hyperboles, personification, all that good stuff. I expect to see that in your poem. Do I expect a rhyming poem? Absolutely not. I think I've made it perfectly clear by now that the best poems don't rhyme. So, this you use the picture to get inspired. You don't you may write your poem about the picture. I could look at this picture and I could write a poem about a child playing baseball. Um, but that's probably not what I'm going to do because I don't. If I were writing a poem about this picture, that would be the last thing I would write about because I know nothing about baseball. I would have to do research in order to even figure out how to write a poem about baseball. I don't watch it. I don't like it. Um, so when I look at this picture, I see, I think summer. I think it's hot outside. I think red. I see red. I think of um, daddies. This kid's probably been in the front yard playing baseball with his dad, pitching a ball. So I think about all the other things that he could have done with his daddy. I grew up without a father. So my poem could be about what I would have liked my daddy to have done with me because that's kind of what I think about when I see this picture. So you start by brainstorming a list of things that just pop out about this picture, and then from there you can make your own picture. I'll show you another one. Again, I see red, I see snow, I see winter, I see cold, I see happy, I see glowing. I look at this girl and I wonder what in her life makes her so happy. So maybe I could write about young love or an engagement or um, it looks she has a backpack on, so obviously she's hiking. It looks like she's hiking. So I might make it about a hiking trip that I took. I can remember Natural Bridge. I grew up in Breathitt County, so Natural Bridge was right in my backyard. I can't tell you how many times I walked up the side of that mountain. Um, Now I write the sky lift, but back then I hiked the mountain, so I could write a poem about hiking. And it was inspired from this picture. It's not at all what this picture's about. I can remember going outside when it was snowing and play until my fingers and feet were numb. And then when I would go in the house, my mom would have hot chocolate on the stove. And I'm not talking about hot chocolate that you heat up a cup of water and pour in a packet. My mother had homemade hot chocolate that she stood and stirred with milk and Hershey's cocoa and sugar and, the good stuff. So I could write a poem about a cold, snowy day or playing outside, and it has nothing to do with this picture other than the fact that the snow reminds me of my childhood. So that's what you're going to do this week is you're going to view the PowerPoint. There's going to be some pictures on there for you to choose from. Pick one that suits you, and I want you to write a poem that is inspired by that picture. When you upload it to the discussion board, I do not want you in any way to say, this is the poem I chose. Because what I want you to do is I want you to look at your classmates' pictures. I'm sorry, look at their poems, and I want you to comment which picture you think it was. And then they can, after they've had a couple of responses, everybody can go in and say, this was my picture. So let's see if we can guess what poems were written about what pictures. So if you need any help or if you struggle with anything, let me know. I think it's pretty simple, and I know that most of you are rolling your eyes and thinking, I don't know anything about writing poetry and I can't write a poem. Yes, you can. You can write a poem. You don't have to rhyme the poem. Rhyming a poem is the hardest thing in the world to do. And I don't want any acrostic poems. And acrostic poems are like, if I wanted to do an acrostic poem with my name, I would put S is for smart, H is for happy, A is for awesome. I don't want an acrostic poem. Don't do that. But use the literary devices that you've learned in this class and try to create a really good poem. We're not going to make fun of you. And there's no bad poems. There's not a certain length. There's no punctuation requirements, none of that stuff. Just feel free to write what comes to your mind. So I hope I've picked out some pictures that will inspire you. Have a great time.